What's up guys, Tonic Dream. So Animated Monorail is my most streamed song across all platforms, and I wanted to do something special, show you how I made it.
Alright, so this is it. This is the project file for the track that y'all know and love as Animated Monorail. Let's get in it. So, it all began with these ARPs right here. This started everything. And what it is this labs patch. What is it? Modular pianos. I opened that up and just started playing around with these notes, made a melody, and to me this melody felt real right. I just wanted to make something that was sort of catchy and would hook you in, and this felt right to me. It was like hypnotic and dreamlike, and I fucked with it. So I kept that, and I added some compression, EQ, some vocal doubler to make it a little dirty, gain, and another compressor to add some character on there. And I just added this stereo layer. It's just some off hits to make it a little more interesting, sort of counter melody. And then this layer right here is just to add some low end, to give it a little more body and just make it sound fuller. So together, all that sounded like this. And with this whole thing established, it was just really nice. I was fucking with this, I was feeling it. So from there I added this clock right here. You know, and this to me was just to give it something organic, just to, I don't know, give it a little more life and tie it to the real world a bit and make it, I don't know, sound familiar and interesting at the same time. So together, when I had this, like I felt this, you know, I was rocking with it. And the clock, you know, has a nice bounce to it that just added to the groove. Felt real good. So once I had this established groove, man, everything else was natural. Just added each element. Right, so I had all that, and once I had this established groove set up, I just built out the arrangement. So I had this intro here, I added a chorus, verse, pre-chorus, and then I just kind of copied over another chorus and basically just called it a rap. I originally called it Clockworks.
Alright, so I originally planned on showing this beat off on this beat battle for this channel called Fresh Produce, sometime back in April 2020, but I quickly realized that the style of beats that I make are not battle style beats, and I lost first round. But I got the opportunity to show it off again for this other channel called STL vs. Everybody. They were doing this like producer expo, and I got to showcase a bunch of my beats, and that was cool because more people got the opportunity to hear what I had, and I got some really positive feedback on that beat, Clockworks in particular. So I knew that I had something special, I knew it had potential, so I decided to sit on it. Sometime later that year, I was watching the stream by Patrick CC, and I came across this artist NERONOIR, and I really fucked with the sound, so I decided to keep him on my radar. And as I kept listening to more and more of his music, I came across some of these other artists like MONORAIL, Shleem Pink, etc. And one day on IG, I saw that MONORAIL and Shleem were recording feats together. So I decided to hit them up. I sent them like 3 different beats to choose from. They liked Clockworks. So I sent them that over. They started recording on it. Sent it back to me within like 2 hours or something. It was crazy professional, and their delivery was like super professional, man. I was nothing but impressed with what I got. So now that I had these stems to work with, just came back to recording them back into the track.
So once I got those stems, I just checked on the vocal. Everything was sounding really good.
Bitch, ain't get my wallet.
And with those vocals, I mean, they already sounded really good. I just added a little bit of polish on them and some reverb to make them sit within the space a little bit better. You know, give them that presence within the track. And it was I liked how it was sounding. What I wanted to really focus on was rearranging the track in a way that each verse sounded individual and different from one another production-wise, but it all still sounded like it was part of the same thing. And I knew that with the way that I had arranged it, because remember before I just had up to this chorus part, so I had to add another verse, pre-chorus, and another chorus there. And I knew that with the chorus, the way that I had it, Nero was going to be kind of the central part of the track because he was on the hook. So I wanted to make sure that I made Shleem's verse extra special. So for his verse, what I did was I half-timed the arpeggio layer that we had before. So now it sounds like this. And I just added some automation to make these sounds sort of evolve over time and become more spooky and nightmarish. And I really like that. I fuck with that heavy. So I was liking how that was sounding. What else did I do? I took out this bass to make it a bit different. Took away the 808 and I introduced this beefier, heavier 808 hit later, which comes in right here. And that just made that part stand out a little bit more and make it more special. And with that, after that, I mean, it was all about just finessing it, working it into the track, making sure everything sounded good together. And I just finished up mastering it, put some stuff on the mastering channel. Just add some things onto the mastering channel to make it sound a little better, get it up to radio loudness, and called it a day. Now with the new concept in mind, with the song and the lyrics, I just wanted to come up with a new name.
I agonized over this for days, trying to think of a name for this, and just wasn't coming up with anything. So I reached back out to Shleem and Nero and was like, what should this be called? Shleem hit back with a bunch of different names, and at the top of the list was Animated Monorail. Nero was like, that's the one. And I was like, is it though? Like, what the hell does that even mean? Explain that to me. And they were like, just roll with it, man, it's gonna be cool. And I'm a person who needs to kind of like be able to envision the whole thing first. I need to kind of be able to see the whole project, the artwork, how it's gonna be promoted and everything. And Animated Monorail wasn't something that was clicking with me right away. So I was like, if it's gonna be a bunch of nonsense letters, why not name it something like Picnic Satellites? And they were like, well, this is what they replied to that. So with that being said, I said, just let me sleep on it, and I'll hit you back tomorrow. So after having some time to digest it, I was like, you know what? I think this is gonna be cool. I trust you guys. I know that they know what they're doing, so I just trusted in that and ran with it. And after that, I realized, the images started coming to me. I started realizing that the project, anything involved with it doesn't need to make sense. It just needs to feel right. And so I came up with the idea for the artwork. I reached out and hired somebody on Fiverr to do the drawing. I then took that drawing into Photoshop and edited with it, messed around with it to make it look the way that it does now. And I was really happy with how that turned out. I then came up with this idea for these little teaser stories I posted on my Instagram to kind of help build interest in the track. And I knew that it didn't have to make sense. It was just something fun that was hopefully fun for people to watch and engage in, and hopefully help, as I said, build interest in. And that was basically it. That was the whole story of animated monorail and how that came to be. And for me, I mean, so many people listened to it, and I got so much positive feedback on it that it's something that I will always be proud of, and it's something that I think is really special. And I'm glad that I can share that with everybody. Sometime after that, though, I went back and revisited that Picnic Satellites. I had written down that name somewhere, and when I went back to that, I was like, you know what? This deserves to be something too. So I actually made a track called Picnic Satellites. It's going to be my latest track. It's coming out next week, Friday, February 19th, which is also my birthday. So I hope you all go check that out, especially after knowing the story of it and how the name came to be. I'd love to know what y'all think of that. So that's pretty much it, you guys. So I hope that this was helpful to you somehow. I hope that this was interesting to you, and I hope that, I don't know, maybe you learned something that you didn't know before. Maybe it was helpful to you, and if so, leave me a comment. I'd love to read it. Until next time, guys, take care.